Nice. What's up? The 65 is back in the shop. Finally, this truck has sat in my driveway for, I don't know, a year, maybe even longer. I actually don't even remember what the last thing I recorded on this truck was. I know I was messing with it, got super frustrated, and just went right into the corner of the driveway. And that's where it kind of sat, forgotten. I'd look at it every day, but had no motivation to work on it. But now I do. I actually just recently went to a all rat rod show, and it was awesome. And I said, my 65 is the perfect thing for me to bring here next year. So, kind of gave me the push I needed to get started on it again. We're going to have to walk around this thing and get reacclimated to it because I don't even know where I left off. You know, the plans change 100 times, and first it was air ride, then it was static. Now clearly it's air ride again, but it's pretty bad. It's just got bags put in the front. Then it was going to be diesel. Now it's a small block, but it might be a diesel again. I don't know. So let's run around this thing and see how tore up it is from just sitting for a year. And I'll run you through my game plan of what is going to happen next. So anybody who doesn't know, I pulled this truck out of a field like 2 years ago. The grass was, that high up to the roof. And the guy I got it from, he pulled it out of a barn where it sat since 1981. It was buried up to the axle. The frame was half underground. It was buried. I'll pop a picture in since I have a couple pictures of the barn that it got pulled out of. And so my plan was to do like a budget build, but nothing ever turns into a budget build, and it kind of got out of hand on me real fast with how much was going wrong with this truck. So with a clearer head, we're going to reevaluate and make a game plan moving forward. I've seen birds under the hood of this thing like every day. Ugh. Oh yeah, there's some bird crap for sure. Well, this thing's a mess. Was that me? It must have been me. Well, at least I taped up the exhaust. That's kind of smart. Oh geez. I'm already less optimistic than I was just a couple of minutes ago. So yeah, this small block came out of a small block swapped Alpha Romeo Spider that was a huge pile of crap. It ran, but it was full of water. This is going to be one of the things that we have to address first. I need to know that this engine runs, and the only time I heard it run, it ran poorly, and I mean the head bolts weren't tight. Every gasket was blown out, so it's got a fresh rebuild, gasket, re-gasket, but I have yet to hear it fire again. So that's going to be on the list of things to do. Also on the list of things to do, obviously, is to clean up my front air ride. Every one of these trucks, if you want them to lay on the ground, you have to cut these inner fenders out, which is not a huge deal. I also have to cut and plate my lower control arms and upper control arms. You can buy control arms for these things, but this is still going to be budget-minded, and it's pretty neat, plating control arms. It's really not that hard. You can save yourself a couple $100 by doing it yourself. We'll show you how to do that. In the rear, I don't know if I recorded any of doing this. I did put some 3/4 ton Chevy springs on it and a corporate 14 bolt in the back. This is when it was going to be static. But, I don't know. It's not going to be static anymore. I'm actually going to build like a monster trailing arm. I don't know. It's going to be like a 2-link with a pan hard bar. Super simple. I don't think I'm ever putting a bed back on this truck. Maybe just like a flat thing on the frame rails, but I don't think I'm going to go too crazy and put like the big flatbed that was on this truck. So I guess the first course of action is going to be the cab has to come back off. I said the first time that there was no way I was pulling this cab back off, and however it was is what it was going to be, but I have to pull it off. It'll make my life doing all the suspension so much easier, and I can get the motor running just in the frame, just kind of hot wire it up to make sure that it runs, builds oil pressure, it doesn't tick, or poke a piston through the side of the block or anything like that. So yeah, let's start with getting the cab back off, which is a nightmare because the bottom of this cab is so rusty. I don't know if it's going to survive another pickup with the lift. So let's find out. You can really increase the probability of getting hurt if you just do everything by yourself and never ask for help. Oh, that's loud. This hood was heavy last time I took it off. I'm sure it'll be heavy again this time. Oh, there is just stuff falling on my neck. Super gross. Alright, here we go. That's gone forever. Here's where I got hurt last time. Oh yeah, we're good. Find something to set it on. Ooh, tires. Tires. Painless. Hardly even scratch the paint. Oh, what am I getting myself into? I got such other cool stuff to work on. Okay, let's see if this thing's gonna lift off. Oh, lots of spiders. Sweet. Well, I hate spiders. They're in my mouth. Some vehicles I think don't want to be saved because as soon as I pulled the rear body mount out, it just fell off the frame. I think it's trying to tell me that I woke it from its slumber, and this truck just wanted to rot away. Nonsense. All right. Let's see. Are we crushing the rockers yet? No, yes, no, yes. Yes. Should be good. Okay. Pop the rag joint out. That's under some pressure now. I went too high too fast. Need a longer pry bar. This rag joint's always a nightmare to get undone. Okay, it may have gone. Maybe. No, lifting the frame. I promise, once the rag joint pops, it's home sailing. Come on, it's right there. It's so loose. Struggling. Okay. Oh, it's gonna pop real hard when it pops now. It's gonna scare me. How about a bigger pry bar? I have a bigger one. This is the I'm not messing around pry bar. The old 4-footer. Yeah, you want to. Oh, I know what I can do. I can let the truck roll free. It's probably going to help. Taking my wheelie chalk up here. Okay, I'm going to try this. Let me try taking this away from it. Oh, that's bad. Bad, bad, bad. Very bad. Let's make that go the other way. I feel like I didn't struggle this hard the first time. Hey. Now we've got it. Nice. Oh, it probably would have been smart if I'd have put the camera over there, because you could have seen me struggling with the rag joint to get it apart. I do remember this thing being a nightmare last time. There's no slip in this. This has got the old chest impaler steering column in it. So, you know, when you ram that into a tree or another car, the steering wheel just hits you right in the face. Don't worry about how badly these boards are bending. I don't remember that being like that last time, but I don't think it matters. Why is that? I would push up on this front end, but I'm not totally convinced it wouldn't just fall. Well, that's really all I was trying to get accomplished tonight. It's, of course, late, like always. So, probably going to put this body on one of my little trailers. That way it's not hanging above my head forever. Plus, I might need to roll the frame in and out because I got some touch-up stuff to do on that little red square body. Me and my buddy are taking it to a car show. Actually, we're taking it to LS Fest. So, had a couple things we got to button up on that. So this thing can't live on the lift. But, yeah, I'll be back out tomorrow. Next day, today my big focus is going to be front suspension. I'm still waiting for a couple parts to get delivered for the rear, so I can't really do anything back there because I need bar ends. And that's really the first part of building the rear suspension. So that stuff's going to be delivered early next week. So right now, front suspension, getting the control arms cupped and the upper control arms cut, and get the crossmember laying on the ground, and then I can work on getting the motor running while I'm waiting for parts to show up for the rear. It's hot today, and I want to have my big fan on, and you guys won't be able to hear me if I have that running. So I'm probably just going to tear everything apart, get the arms plazzed out, and then I'll get back with you when I'm showing you how I'm making the cups for it. Now we've got these cut out, cleaned up. All the edges are beveled. The distance that we're going to be dropping the plate is 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is probably fight a lot with this, because this is 3/16, so this is not going to bend very well. But I need to basically trace this shape with this metal strap to drop my plate all the way down, and then I will make another plate the same shape. Whoop. And it'll sit that roughly that low, and my bag will sit right in the middle. Plenty of room for it to compress. No problem. And give us an additional 1.5 inches of clearance. Well, probably more, because the cups that were sitting in the control arms had the bag sitting above the control arms. Probably gain our 2 inches or so, which is about what we needed to get the cross member on the ground. So I may end up having to put some heat to this to bend it. Let's see what I can get done in the vise. Let's just pick. I guess we can just pick anywhere. We'll just start here. We'll just start right here. Oh yeah, that one's pretty easy. I'm going to have to overbend quite a bit of this in order to get a tight enough bend on it. I don't really want to be smacking it with a hammer, but we might get that to that point. There's the first one. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to do that, 7 more times until I have the correct shape to drop down in there. There you have it. 2 cupped C10 lower control arms. Now I have to get them back in the frame so I can mark where I had to drill a hole for the bag, which should be a little bit towards the shock. Yeah, it should sit about right there. No, not that far. There we go. About right there. So get the holes drilled, and then I can pull them back out again so I can clean them up some more and get them painted. So I'm gonna get this all slapped back together, and maybe we can get it on the ground tonight. It's the next day. See, everything's back together. There's one issue still plaguing this, and that is that bag is not fully compressed, which means that that cross member is not going to be on the ground. What's causing that is this ball joint. See how it's at a terrible angle. It's binding. You can barely move this spindle, and that's no good. So to alleviate that, where this stock upper bends like this, we're going to cut a little piece of pie out, fold this back down to get this ball joint more in line with this spindle, And eventually, when I tear the arms apart and paint them, I'm going to drill these rivets out or grind them off, and I'm going to ball joint flip it, and that'll also help improve ball joint angle laid out. So you might think that it'll have terrible geometry if you angle that down. It'll have terrible geometry when you lift it. But you see that that ball joint, this is at full lift, is nowhere near binding. So we could probably go 5 degrees or more to help improve our angle when we're laid out. So I'm gonna get these torn off, cut, welded, put back on, and I wanna put this thing on the ground like today, like shortly. So let's get at it. So we're totally just gonna wing it on the first cut, and then we'll bend her down, see where she lands, and we'll go from there. Forgot I had rubber gloves on. Those don't do anything to protect you from sparks. Now how to put you in the vise. Here is the moment of truth. See if all the hard work was worth it. Oh yeah. So the cross member is not quite completely on the ground, but that's pretty good for a C10 with tall tires. I could probably go down a little bit in tire size. Those are brand new tires, so I might just run those. And the rear of the frame is still, sitting pretty high. So when that's laying flat on the ground, this might be fine up front. There's one more thing. It's going to be a little teaser for the next video. We're going to find out together right now if this motor is locked up from sitting, or if she is going to be at least free enough to be a runner. Ready? Oh, hell yeah. Haha, never a doubt in my mind. Oh yeah. That thing's gonna run. Not a doubt in my mind that's gonna run. So, my contingency plan was, if this small block didn't run, the diesel was going back in. If this runs, and runs well, and builds oil pressure, and doesn't blow up in the first 5 minutes, then I'm just going to run the small block. So anyway, I'm waiting for parts to show up for the rear, so I can get started on that. I have, everything except the bar ends, which, of course, like I said, is the first thing you need to build the rear suspension. So, I think that's it for this video. I'll be messing around with this. Maybe the next one I'll just get it running while I'm still waiting on parts, but I think that's enough for this one. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.